over there. Hopefully we're having fun and I'm getting this stream to work. The multitasking at its finest and having some fun doing the things and turning cameras on and all sorts of stuff, man. I need a media producer in here too, okay? I need to teach Shacker how to do all the camera stuff too. All right, hey, what a game it was. I talked all pregame show about how the Blazers just need to bounce back. They didn't need to win the game. They just needed to have a game where they came out. They didn't look flat. They looked ready to go. They looked like a basketball team. They played a basketball game. That's all I wanted. I think that's all fans wanted. As I said multiple times, I was like, if they come out and they play this game and they just look like a competent team, unlike what they looked like against Memphis, then I think people are going to be on board with it. They're going to say that's exactly what we wanted. We just wanted them to play. And that's what they did tonight. They played. They had a heck of a game all the way around. This was an absolute incredible bounce-back victory for the Trailblazers, any way you slice it. Things get a little crazy there at the end when it came to a couple different, challenges. That's the word I wanted. I'm like sitting there. You're like, why is Chris Finch challenging that foul call with like 50 seconds left? And then why is Chauncey Billups challenging? And then you're like, oh yeah, point differential matters in the NBA Cup. Regular game, probably wouldn't have seen that one. But just compare some of these numbers. Incredible. So just 2 nights ago against the Grizzlies, first off, they lost by 45 points, their 7th worst loss in franchise history. And one of the things that was just glaring when you looked at the box score was they were 4 of 42. 4 of 42 from beyond the arc, .095. 9.5% from beyond the arc. Just terrible. Absolutely terrible. So you need them to bounce back. You need them to get right. And right is what they did. Tonight, 18 of 32 from beyond the arc, 56%. Tamani Kamara, 4 of 5. Jeremy Grant, 2 of 5. 3 of 5 from Shaden Sharp. 2 of 2 from Scoot Henderson. Delano Banton, 4 of 6. Started 3 of 3 on the night, which was absolutely incredible because you needed him, because this was a little bit of a scary moment, quite frankly, where Anthony Simons subbed out. And I watched the video back, and he didn't get hurt or anything, and he didn't get hit in the chest, didn't get ran into. There was no contact. Played an offensive set, played a defensive set, then came down and kind of grabbed his chest, turned around to the coach, and just kind of walked off the court. Fell down, kind of in like a catcher squat is the best way to describe it, and was holding his chest. Trainers came out, checked on him. He subbed out, went back to the locker room. Blazers later said it was a chest injury. He would not return. And then post-game coach said that, he was experiencing some shortness of breath. And I don't know what it was. I know have you ever had an anxiety attack? Because I've had at least one that I know that's what it was. And like that feeling of like not being able to breathe, like it just feels like there's 1,000 pounds on your chest. So again, I don't know what his situation was, but if you get that shortness of breath, man, that is scary. So he checked out. Now, coach did say he did undergo some testing. Everything came back normal, but he'll probably undergo some more testing tomorrow. So we will remain waiting to see what his status will be moving forward. So he's subbed out. That was right around the 7-minute mark of the first quarter. Scoot Henderson comes in. Scoot Henderson picked up 3 quick fouls. It was like a foul a minute is what it felt like. So then Delano Banton, the fourth quarter closer, had to come in early. And again, he picked the team up, was energetic, got the ball moving, did everything they needed him to do, got the quick 3 for 3 from beyond the arc, and didn't skip a beat. He was a huge reason that the Blazers were able to win today. Also, shout out to my boy Keith Feltner-Smith, who's trying to throw me off my game by texting me in nothing but caps because he's obviously yelling that he wants to be in here. He'll come be my producer to come set up cameras. I'll work on getting you a credential. We'll see what happens. I don't have very much sway, but I will try. All right, looking at the actual box score, though, let's start with Minnesota. Jaden Daniels, 17 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 11 points from Julius Randle. Rudy Gobert, 9 points, 8 rebounds, and just a single block shot. That doesn't happen very often when Rudy's playing. Anthony Edwards, 26 points, which was actually kind of weird because when I looked at the box score late in the game, I was like, he has 26 points. Like, he had a very, very quiet game. It didn't feel like he took over, but he did score in bunches, 8 of 19 from the field when it was all said and done. Mike Conley, 6 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. On the bench, Naz Reid did Naz Reid things, 28 points, 6 rebounds. And Nickeil Alexander-Walker is like kind of painful, quite honestly, to watch him get out there. Played 27 minutes, he had 8 points, but boy, he locked the Blazers down defensively a few times. And you're like, yeah, the Blazers just like traded him like out of nowhere. Maybe they could have used him. It was very nice to see him playing like that, though. That's a good team over there in Minnesota. For the Blazers to get the win tonight on the heels of that terrible performance against Memphis, this is a very, very good win. And we talked about it pregame, how important I think Robert Williams is to this team. Like, he sounded like a leader in that locker room during that post-game or post-practice media availability. When he talked about how the team came together, talked through some things, talked about the elephant in the room, tried to get some effort out of everybody, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I talked about it pregame how, like, this guy sounds like a leader. He sounds like the guy that's going to kick you in the rear end when you need it, get you going. And let me tell you what, he was the best Blazer on the floor tonight, and it wasn't even close. So there were some pretty good performances out there tonight. He was the absolute best. Comes off the bench. Keep in mind, DeAndre Ayton did not start in this one, dealing with a finger injury, so Donovan Clingan got the start. Donovan Clingan, he did play 21 minutes, which is nice to see. But, man, Robert Williams, 25 minutes. He had 19 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 block shots, 3 steals. He was absolutely all over the place. I mean, all over the place, putting in dunks left and right. The way he rolls to the basket is envious. Like I'm sitting there, like I want DA to roll to the basket with the same reckless abandon that Robert Williams rolls to the basket with. Right, I want Clingan to get to the point where he rolls to the basket, where he sets that pick, just rolls, and is just instantly looking for the ball. Right, so then he did that and was able to get good points out of it, got good block shots, good rebounds. Like, he was an absolute spark plug of a player today for this team. Between him and Delano Banton, who people are popping off in the YouTube comments, good old DB Hooper. I mean, those two guys, they were so valuable for this team today. Denny Advia, guys, he also, if you watch this game, Denny Advia had his best game as a Blazer, without question. 17 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds. He had a steal in there as well and a block shot. He had that incredible three-point shot right at the end of the third quarter, a little step back from deep, throws in. Like, that's what the Blazers want Denny Avdia to be. So shout out to him. Looking out throughout the box score, Toumani Camara, 14 points. Like I said, 4 of 5 from deep, which is really good to see from him. 21 points from Jeremy Grant, who at this point, too, I think Coach got on these guys a little bit, because Jeremy Grant, who's usually knocked for his lack of defense, was pretty darn good on the defensive side in this one tonight. Got a couple good stops. The Blazers forced 8 seconds violations, forced a 24-second shot clock violation late in the game. Like, they were all over defensively. Jeremy Grant wasn't slouching. 4 points, 6 rebounds from Donovan Clingan. Shaedon Sharpe, 17 points. Nice to see him starting to get that scoring going as well. He needs to remember how athletic he is, though, because, man, there was just a few times where I'm like, dude, you're a highlight reel. Don't go to the basket so soft. He missed a bunny of a dunk on the fast break. And then a couple other times he goes up and then pulled the ball back down to try to, kind of get around the rim, and then got the ball blocked because he pulled the ball down. I just want to see him just run up, jam, just be ferocious, because that's his strength, really. When he starts doing that again and gets that confidence back, I think he'll be incredible. And then again, the unfortunate injury to Anthony Simons. Still to know exactly if there's an injury there. Just a little bit of a shortness of breath issue. He only played 5 minutes in this one. He had 2 points and a rebound. Didn't tally any other stats. Off of the bench, Scoot Henderson had 14 points. Again, 19 points for Robert Williams, 17 for Advia, 12 for Delano Banton. And Ryan Rupert had 2. He played a pretty good game as well. He only played 9 minutes, but I liked what I saw from him. He's all over the place, and he's looking to make plays, which is what you want him to do. If you want to join in on the conversation, Twitter is one way to do it. YouTube is another way to do it. And you can also go and grab your telephone, dial 503-248-0620, and we'll get you in on the conversation with us as well, which is where Brett in Southeast has been waiting. Brett, welcome into the 5th quarter. The floor is yours, my man. Oh, well, thank you. Oh, yeah, great timing. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's don't want to see him go down like that, but it does have that kind of feeling like it opened some doors for some other people, and it was pretty cool. It was great to see RW3 out there just like got his head in the game. His eyes were on the ball no matter what happened. It was some really amazing performances all around, right?
Yeah.
In such contrast to just a couple nights ago, right? It doesn't, or a night ago, I guess. So, yeah, you know what I mean. It doesn't. It's a fleeting game. I guess it's like golf, whatever, right? It's that sort of thing where you think you know what you're doing, and one night to the next.
Hey, golf is not.
So
Hey, Brett, golf is not one night to the next. At least not for me. It's one swing to the next. Because that game eats me up.
Yes, you said that. No, that's what they say is you don't own golf, you rent it. It's that kind of thing for sure. but I'll tell you, it's fun to have the NBA Cup going again, whenever the Emirates Cup. However much money you want to throw at that. But I got to say, I don't know, those courts, right? I mean, last year was a lot. This year, I thought they were going to tone it down a bit. I dug the roses coming through the gray, but the gray court, never been a big fan of the gray kind of thing. It's just a lot of it anyway.
Were you at the game? Were you at the game or watching on TV?
No. No, I was watching on TV,
okay.
But I was watching, and I did in the Warriors game too. There's a lot of blue. It's all, it's just a lot. It's a whole wash of color. I think it just kind of overdoes it. I'd like to see the racing stripe from the keys, all the way down. I like that kind of thing. That's kind of cool. But give us some wood, on the court. I've never been a big fan of solid color like that. I think, especially depending on the kind of jerseys they're wearing, if it's red on red or. Those things can really, anyway. But whatever. You definitely know you're watching a different kind of game. And hey, I tell you what, if we can win all the NBA Cup games, take that little cup home, and then just lose the rest, I'll call it a decent season.
Hey.
I mean, again, knock on wood. Barring injuries, I want development. I want to see all the development. But we gotta do. I like the timely injury of the finger. We gotta see again some a nice center rotation that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It'd be really. I almost feel like maybe we can move on from Mr. Double Double, Mr. Aiden. Maybe he can take his air mattress to a different town, and sleep in some other ice storm or whatever. Again, he's been great. I'm not mad at any of these guys, but you're trying to find the value and like who can we trade? Who can we make this team better with? What can we do? And JG, sure, but Brandon Ingram's like just a slightly better version of him, and he's probably going to go first. Whatever. It's hard to find, and even to say Ant. He obviously. Whatever. Not that he's not maybe part of the timeline. Who's part of the timeline? Who knows? I'm not in those conversations, but if we could move on from a big contract and get a little bit of value for it, especially OKC, if you guys need a big, which it seems like they kind of might.
They
And
might,
it's
right?
really sad to see all the injuries going on is crazy. I'm really sorry, to kind of see this. I want to get into the settings and just turn injuries off, right?
Yep.
If you could, on the video game, you know what I mean? But otherwise, I mean, hey, if he's got a little value to a team out there, and we can get off one of our four centers, then especially the guy with the biggest contract, that'd be great.
Yeah, that
Anyway,
would be nice.
just a lot of fun, a lot of fun tonight. I mean, just like I didn't expect like anything. I mean, gosh, all up and down the dang court. I mean, Tumani, that guy. Like, I love to see everybody just badmouth him, in the chats and stuff. But like, he's got no offense. But like, he showed it tonight a little bit. I think he's got a lot of hope.
Well, here's the thing.
Plus, his
Here's the
defense
thing,
is just
Brett.
sublime.
Brett, absolutely, and thank you so much for the call. I got a lot to chew on here, but I want to start with Tumani for a second, because anybody who is bad mouthing Tumani Kamara, just stop. That is the dumbest thing possible, and I have seen it. I know it's out there. Oh, he doesn't score in bunches. Who gives a rip? The game of basketball is so much more than scoring buckets. As I pointed out the other day, because a friend of the show, constant YouTube chatter, Kirk, who's awesome, was like, why is he starting over Denny? Because Tumani only averages 8 points per night. And as I pointed out, you know who only averages 8 points for his entire career? Draymond frickin' Green. And how important has Draymond Green been to every single championship that Golden State has won? You could argue that he's been the most important piece, and that is for a team that has Steph Curry. Yes, Steph Curry is unbelievable. The three-point shots are nuts. The scoring is off the charts. But I always thought that Draymond was the cog that made everything go smoothly, right? So you don't have to be a great offensive scorer. Air Weldon says guy like Bruce Bowen, right? Absolutely. Bruce Bowen was great. Look at the Boston Celtics too. The KG Paul Pierce team, right? Wasn't James Posey, right? Yeah, he was known for his scoring. No, he was just a lockdown defender that you could rely on. And like the Memphis teams, yes, they didn't win a championship, but what about Tony Allen, right? He wasn't a scorer. He'd get you a couple shots every now and then. He wasn't a scorer, but lockdown defender. The Detroit Piston teams that Chauncey Billups won, Tayshaun Prince, like he's going to go get you 12, 13 a night, but defensively is where he brought. Tumani Kamara's defense is phenomenal. He was all over the court tonight doing everything you need to do. Guarding Julius Randle, guarding Anthony Edwards, doing everything. So, once again, if you're bad-mouthing him, oh boy, there's a seat right over here. We're going to put you live, and we're just going to put you on blast because it's absolutely crazy. Also, shout out to a couple of my friends who've been texting me. And Chris, hold on. Chris says he's never heard anyone badmouth Tumani. Dead serious. That's a wild take. And the thing is, Chris, they are few. There are few, but I've seen them. They've been in these YouTube chats, and I've gone to war in honor of two because two deserves it. Two is phenomenal. I don't care. He doesn't have to score a darn point. He impacts the game as soon as he's on the court. And like he had a move today. I think Julius Randle came in. He's guarding him. Julius Randle goes right and then does a spin move, and he spun into Tumani because Tumani saw it coming and had already pivoted to where he was going to be. It was a great defensive play. They called the foul, which was kind of dumb, and I think Randle hit the shot as well. And it was just like, A, good offense, my man, because that was a hard shot to hit. But B, that defense was incredible. It was telegraphing his next move and being ready. Boom, right there. Gotta respect it. And so again, they're very few and far between, Chris. The people who get mad at Tumani, but there have been. He doesn't score enough. Who cares? Who cares? Also, to Brett's point about the court, here in person, Again, I don't know. Maybe it translates. I think the color hits you when you're watching it on TV. It's just crazy. In person, I thought it looked great. There was a couple times I was like, "This is." I feel like I'm watching a game out in the park, right, on the concrete. It was cool for a game. I don't know if I'd like it all the time, but it is cool. It says, "City of Roses" on the side with the vine going through. The roses popping through the court was really cool. Me personally, though, I kind of want the Blazers to get rid of the red around the court and just go back. I personally loved the black around the court with the white top circle in the key, like the old school 90s court. Oh, it was so simple and a thing of beauty. Sometimes less is more, my friends. Sometimes less is more. If you want to join in on the conversation with me, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. You can also go over to youtube.com, type in Rip City Radio, get in on the comments there, and you guys all know the Twitter handle by now. And no one jumps on and follows me, but I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to keep trying. And as I was saying before, Chris distracted me there. Shout out to everyone in the comments and the people texting me. They heard I need a video producer, and everyone's like, hey, give me a call. Everybody wants to come work with me and help set up my little camera. That would be wonderful. Like I said, I'll work on an application and see if we can budget for it. All right, we'll take a quick break here on the fifth quarter. When we come back, Shacker's ready to go. He's got your drive of the night, your shot of the night, and we got plenty of callers. I see Victor. I see Joe in Buffalo. Stay on hold. We'll grab you on the backside of this break here on Rip City Radio 620. Will you pod down just a little bit because I'm going to talk to YouTube? All right, YouTube. They're going to break. There we go. We're on radio break, and I can talk to you because, this is radio, and I can do what I want. I like talking during a commercial break. First off, Brett, he says, thanks for chatting with me. Oh, that's not what I want. I'll turn this headphone down for a sec. There we go. He says, thanks for chatting with me. You're welcome, man. Thanks for calling. You had a lot of good things to say, man. It's always fun when you guys call in. I appreciate it, especially if you call in and I haven't had a chance to talk to you before, man. It's awesome. So thank you for calling in. Again, everyone else who wants to come be a video producer of mine, come do it. I'll have some fun. Maybe I should just do a little contest, Call in the fifth quarter. Instead of Trailblazer Ticket Tuesday, we'll have like a fifth quarter producer Wednesday. Caller number 5 gets to get a credential and come sit in with Chris. Let's see. What else did we say? This game is what we needed after the recent negativity. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. And I've said this before. I try not to be too negative. It's easy to do, and sometimes I think it's a low-hanging fruit. There was no positive out of that Memphis game, though. None whatsoever. None. And so to come and do the performance you had tonight, and I will hold firm, like they didn't need to win this game. If they would have played like they did tonight and lost this game, I have a feeling the comment section would be similar. You'd probably still be, oh man, they didn't win the game. But if they played like tonight with that effort, you'd be okay. And if they play with this effort moving forward, and again, they're gonna lose games, they just are. But if they play with this effort every single night and don't roll over, I think you're okay with it, right? As a fan of all my sports teams. And I'm not ashamed. Yes, I'm a reporter, but I grew up a Blazer fan, right? And so I know what it feels like, and I'm not ever going to stop being a fan at some point. But the thing is, like when I watch a Duck game, for instance, right? I'm a Duck honk, as you would. If they lose a game, but they played their ass off, I'm okay with it. Now, if they lose a game, but they just rolled over and they got beat at every single punch and didn't try, that's when I get mad. And so I think that's why last game was just so terrible, because there was none of that effort. There was effort here. What do you got for me, Shacker? Okay. I'm just talking to YouTube. So that's the thing. That's the thing. And Han asked, what's the difference, Chris, between last game and this game? Well, first off, there's a big difference in going 18 of 32 versus 4 of 42 from beyond the arc when you're hitting shots. That matters. But I do think there was something to be said about Robert Williams getting in being a massive amount of energy for this team, and just showing off. I mean, I like Da, but man, Robert Williams looked like the best center on the team tonight. That mattered. Denny clicked. Like, I think a lot of things just clicked right. But I don't know the answer truly, but it was a much different game. That's for sure. That's for sure. All right, I'm gonna turn off my mic for a second. We'll be back on radio in just a sec. Appreciate you guys. Welcome back into the fifth quarter. Chris Burkhardt here with you. I need you all to get in on YouTube. Go follow us over there because I chatted with everyone during the commercial break. I don't have to take commercials over there if I don't want to. But good conversation. People asking what was different, and again, they were hitting shots. That matters. I think, as Han pointed out, I think they were getting better shots. That matters, right? And then again, I just effort was there tonight. I think maybe the talk got to him. I think Robert Williams kind of went into leadership mode at practice. I think that matters. I think there's just a lot. I think the airing of grievances, as he said, the elephant in the room, getting people on the same page. I think those things mattered. Sometimes you need that, man, and sometimes you need to hear someone you trust, your teammate or your coworker, call you out for doing a bad job or not showing effort. And as much as it hurts and it sucks, if you're a good team player and you understand where things at, you get better. As I mentioned it pregame, like one of my old work buddies and a former boss, like he would call me out, like you can't film like that. You got to fix this. You got to do that. And I hate it. Like, God, don't call me out. Like I'm doing fine. And then I'd be like, you know what? You're right. I appreciate you. I don't like hearing that I messed up, but I appreciate you. Let's fix it. And we did. So I think that practice mattered for sure. And then let's find the comment here. Air Weldon says, "Does the game open up without specific players on the floor, um, or is it the Bill Simmons Ewing effect where they play better to make up for it?" No, I think it is different because, as I said earlier, like Robert Williams sets picks and then rolls to the basket so much different than DeAndre Ayton, right? And DeAndre Ayton will stop and try to pop that 15-footer more than roll to the basket for like the lob and the dunks, which always blows my mind because he's, what, 6'10", 7 feet tall, athletic. Go play above the rim a little bit more. Robert Williams plays above the rim more than Donovan Clingan and more than DeAndre Ayton, right? So you have the lob threat, you have the putback dunk threat, which he showed tonight. So I think it brings I do think Robert Williams can have a tendency to bring the defense inside just a little bit more, which I think you saw tonight open up some of those better 3-point shots, a little less contested. So I don't think it's a bad thing because I like Da. I absolutely like Da. Very athletic, big. He can do a lot of good things. But Robert Williams is a different big, and again, the way he played tonight was incredible. So I would hope that maybe he could roll, you know, rub off on people because, as Brett says, Ayton soft rolls for middies, and he does. Like I would be if I'm a coach, I am just making Donovan Clingan and DeAndre Ayton watch film of Robert Williams, right? Because the way he rolls, he rolls with purpose, right? He doesn't roll because it's in the play. I mean, yes, he rolls because it's in the play, but what I mean by that is he doesn't roll because he's supposed to. He rolls because he has an end goal and he's going to achieve it, right? Like he has a purpose when he rolls, and that is to get to the basket and get a shot. The amount of times he was looking up and looking for a pass tonight and didn't get the pass because there was no lane and no pass to be had, but he was ready for it and looking is it shows you that he's always rolling with purpose. That absolutely matters. And again, DA doesn't roll the same way. He rolls a little bit more, and he'll stop and take those mids. Clingan, I think, has the ability to in the long run. I think he's still just trying to get his NBA footing, man. Because when he rolls, he's just a little too slow. Like he'll set the pick and then he'll make the. But he just go downhill, accelerate, and just you're 7 feet tall. Play above the rim, man. Robert Williams, he's awesome. He's awesome, and I'm not upset if they find ways for him to continue to play more. If you want to join in on the conversation, Twitter's one way to do it. Chris J. Burkhardt. YouTube is another way. Rip City Radio 620. Join the chat where everyone's popping off. I'm doing my best to keep up, but you know what? You guys are keeping the conversation going, which is awesome. And then, of course, 503-248-0620 is that telephone number where we head out to our boy Victor in Turkey. Victor, welcome into the fifth quarter. What do you got for us tonight?
I'm my best guy radio, Chris.
Thank you.
You're my best radio announcer. I have to tell you, man, you couldn't believe I tell you what happened to me. I didn't eat for 20 hours. I couldn't eat for a day and a half, almost 2 days, thinking about Blazer because you won't believe, because I don't know, maybe I am one of the few guys, but I take this situation personal, as American, they say, we take it personal. I take it really personal because when the Blazer lost last game, I couldn't sleep. And I don't know what happened to me. I was trying to sleep. I even took a sleeping pill. I still couldn't sleep. And I was imagining every player. I said, "What happened? What happened?" I said, That's not the Blazer. Something happened." And then I went to a fasting. I didn't eat. Then I was believe me. Before they play, I had a good feeling. My vibe, I told you, my voodoo, not the psychology. I know you don't like the psychology word, but my voodoo, my vibe, start to come, and I said they're gonna win. I had a feeling that they're gonna win, but I didn't. I turned off the radio and I turned off the sound of. That's how I do it. I turn off the radio. And I turn off the sound of the TV. That's how I do it every time. If they want to win, that's the way I have to do it. So when they start, believe me, I mean, maybe you say I'm superstitious. That's fine. I'm old culture. We have a lot of superstitions. We have a lot of superstitions in Middle East. I can't change it. But
hey, it's all good.
Many times.
It's all good. I get it. I mean, I was a baseball player, and there is not a more superstitious athlete than a baseball player. I mean, if you perform well at the plate that day, well, guess what? You're wearing the same socks next game. Or, oh gosh, what did I have for breakfast? I made sure to have orange juice, and then I had a good game. Guess I'm having orange juice every single morning. So I get being superstitious. It's the way of an athlete, man.
Yeah, but I tell you. I'm glad you said about Williams, Rob Williams. He was so excited, man. I couldn't believe it. He was like playing a championship, with the 76ers. He was from 76ers. I don't know where he came from, but
he was a Boston Celtic.
Oh, Boston. I'm sorry. The way he was playing, he was playing a championship with the Boston Celtics in a championship level. That's the level he was playing. I couldn't believe it. He was the best player I ever seen. Believe me, I saw many games, but he even outplayed the big guy Randall from New York. He outplayed him.
Oh, he did. He was he might have been the best player on both sides of the court tonight, Victor. And thank you for the call. He was incredible. He was absolutely incredible. And this is a hard team, quite honestly, for bigs to pop off a little bit. I mean, when you got Julius Randle, who's a big athletic big, like he can move and is very good. And then you got Rudy Gobert, who for some reason has just slid into the NBA villain role, right? And but he's very, very good defensively, and he's just a huge body. Like, it makes it hard to score and do your stuff. So the fact that Robert Williams, coming off of leg injuries no less, was playing above the rim and outdueling those guys for large chunks of the game is incredible. And you go back to him being a Celtic and being on a team that was one of the best in the Eastern Conference and getting that experience and having great coaching and a great organization. That's a good trickle down, man. And I think, like I said, that leadership part of that matters. And I said it pregame, and if you haven't listened to it, go back to YouTube, since some of you are listening on YouTube right now anyway. Don't go now. Go after the show, right? But go to the Trailblazers YouTube page and listen to Robert Williams following yesterday's practice, because just the tidbits that he said in there, you listen to it and you're like, that's a leader. Like, that's a leader of that locker room. And it might have been one of those, like, it's like, you know, the character in the movie? Okay. Like, I'm a big Jay and Silent Bob guy. All right? You know how Silent Bob, he's Silent Bob. He doesn't talk. But he gets out one line in the movie where he says something, and it's like, that was deep. You meant it. That was good. Everyone listened, right? That's Robert Williams, I think. Because I think, you know, he's like, I think it's hard to speak up and be the leader of the locker room sometimes when you're not even out on the court, right? You're not playing. You're injured. And things are getting rocky. Do you think, what are you telling us to go do and do this better? You're not even playing, dude. But now that he's playing, he's like, now it's the end of the movie where Silent Bob pops off, you know? Adventure, excitement. The Jedi craves not those things, right? And now he's on the floor. Now he has that ability, like, I'm going to say this and I'm going to go do it. And I think he did it tonight. Definitely brought the energy and picked the team up. But go listen to that interview post-practice, because the way he phrased stuff, I think you can tell that he was one of the people that was like, this ain't going to fly anymore. We need to fix this, and we need to fix it now. And I think that's important to have on your roster. All right, let's head out to our friend in Buffalo, Joe in Buffalo. You got any snowstorms out there yet? Do you enjoy your Buffalo winters, Joe?
Hey, let me put on my weather guy voice. Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your weather forecast with Jam and Joe, and let's do. That's just my morning zoo guy voice. How was that? Do you think I could?
Hey,
actually, no snow yet.
Stick to podcasting and comedy, okay, my friend?
Hey, you got it. Thank you for letting me off the hook there, because I deserve way more of a lashing than that. But no, it's still like summer here. It's like 50s. It's in the 50s and 60s. Like, it's a good day. Like, that's like you know what? I'm not going to ruin it for us, though. You know, let's not talk weather. Let's talk basketball. And I think I got the answer for you know, this is your show, though. We could talk weather for an hour if you want to.
No, give me the sports talk, my man, or I'm going to cut you off. I do not really want to talk about thunderstorms and snow and all that. That's for later, okay?
Sounds good, my friend. All right, so I think the Tumani thing goes just like the Banton trade last year. No one really understood why Banton came in. When he came in, I had a lot of love for that guy. I called it for him. Last year, ask Chad, I was the one that stood out. I loved his defense. I thought he played great defense. I thought when he was out there, he was very efficient with his time. And that's exactly what Kamara does. I mean, he was out there for, 38 minutes today?
Yeah.
And
yep.
What was it, 80% from downtown? And not only that, he had, 3 or 4 steals, three assists. I mean, the guy's just, he's effective all over the court. So that's what, and it may not be, if you heard that your team traded for him, you'd be like, what? No, I don't care. I'm not going to buy that jersey. But that doesn't matter. Once he's out there, he may not be the sexiest name out there. You may like to see, some of the younger guys out there, but he's going to be producing for you. There's roles in each sport that go unsung, And in this case, I think he's just fallen under that. And I feel like that's just something he's probably going to have to face. I mean, he was traded. I had to look up to see how he was required. He was traded right as he was drafted from Phoenix, right? He got traded to Portland for like a cluster of people. He went in the Lillard trade, I believe.
Yeah, he was part of the, because you had Dame to Milwaukee, and then they ended up facilitating other stuff. So you had Nurk ended up going to Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton, and Tumani Kamara. Gosh, speaking's hard sometimes, Joe. But Tumani Kamara came to Portland in that deal with DeAndre Ayton. And interestingly enough, Coach Billups talked about it a couple weeks ago about how he had spoken and talked to guys like Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, and that they were not happy that he was included in that trade. And at first I was like, what are you talking about? Like, they hadn't even played with him. And then he said, like, yeah, they hadn't played with him. All they had a chance was to see him in the summer and talk to him, and they wanted to play with him. That's how impressed they were with him just after the draft. And so, yeah, he's coming in, and he's turning heads, man. He's an old school player. Like, he's the guy. He wants to play defense, and he's the type of player that I'll tell you what. One thing about Blazer fan Joe that you'll notice, because for those of you who don't know Joe, he's our Buffalo sports insider. He's up there in New York, holding it down for Blazer Nation, right? And but the thing is, Joe, Blazer fan loves more than anything not the guy who fills up the box score, not the guy who scores 1,000 points. They love more than anything the hard hat and lunch pail guy. The guy who's going to show up for work 9 to 5 and do all the Ed Davises of the world, the Tumani Kamaras, right? The guys who are just that is a BA dude who just likes to go to work and get dirty. Those are the guys Portland loves, and Tumani is perfect for this city, man.
And that's why I love this fan base. That's why I fit in very well. I was just talking with a friend of mine, a new friend of mine, which I want to put Canada. Canada's listening tonight. I want to shout out to my friend Madison and a couple other Canadian friends out there as well who are keeping me grounded. And they was pretty much the same boat. Just we were talking hockey, and that's my love for the Sabres. It's just anyone who comes in and is willing to play hard, willing to grind it out. They don't have to put up 70 goals or 100 points as long as they're willing to go in there and dig deep in the corners. And that's the same thing that I'm finding in basketball, that you got your gritty guys out there too. So that actually brings me to one more question. If Ayton is going to miss any more time, are they going to put the rookie in for the? It doesn't look like he's going to get the full, 32 to 38 minutes. Are they going to split that up with Robert as the center?
The quick answer to that is,
let me know that rule.
Yeah, the quick answer to that is right now they're not going to start Rob. They're going to start Donovan Clingan, and Robert will continue to come off the bench. You got to remember, Robert missed basically an entire year, almost exactly a year of basketball, right? Now he comes back. This is only, game number 3. It's still not known. He actually said post-game, he doesn't know if he's going to play tomorrow. He doesn't know if the staff has cleared him to play 2 days in a row. So he doesn't know if he's going to play the second night of a back-to-back. And you're still going to find ways to get that rust off and get him going. I also think I think Donovan right now looks comfortable in that starting lineup with those guys because there's a few more playmakers around him. And then conversely, when you put Robert in with the second unit, he becomes a playmaker rather than needing the playmakers around him. So I think there's a good balance with those two right now that I wouldn't shake up just yet. Maybe eventually, because Robert Williams did prove today that he might be the best center on the roster. And I think he's obviously more impactful than Donovan Clingan right now. But I think Donovan starting and him coming off the bench makes a ton of sense. Also, shout out to Joel Prisbilla. The YouTube chat is also shouting out another hard hat lunch pail guy, the Vanilla Gorilla.
Real fast, me and you did talk about this. I believe it was in the preseason that Williams and Ayton, we might have to find a way to fill those two in together. And also, I didn't know if they were going to do a small ball thing, kind of how Golden State does. They have that Trace Davis kid, I believe his name is, but he gets 14 minutes, and then I believe Draymond Green is the quote unquote center from there, and that guy's 6'7".
Yeah,
So I didn't know if we were going to do something like that. Here's that conversation came to life that you talked about.
Yeah, because I mean, you did. You've seen the minutes with Donovan Clingan and him playing together a little bit now, and of course that changes with Ayton out. But yeah, because he's so versatile, Joe. He can play the four, get in there. He's a big athletic guy who can move well, so it gives him a little versatility. All I know is I think he needs to stop playing this well, because if he keeps playing this well, Blazer fan is going to get very attached very quickly, and then they're going to definitely be very vocal of what Blazer they do not want to be traded at the deadline, and it might be Robert Williams. Also, shout out to your Canadian friends tuning in, because they were tuning in because they need to start watching more Blazer games, Joe, because they need to watch their favorite son, London, Canada's own Shaden Sharp. That's right, the Maple Jordan, or so he's been called before. Fifth quarter here, Chris Burkhardt. You can follow me on Twitter, Chris J. Burkhardt. You can also go to youtube.com, get in on the chat there, or 503-248-0620 is that telephone number. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to head to the coach's corner and hand out our game balls. I wonder who could get the game ball. Look at that. Shacker pulls out the Jungle Love, yeah. Morris Day in the mother effing time. Oh. Yeah, see? I need to see Clerks 3. Haven't seen Clerks 3 yet. Yeah. I'll have to tune in. But so YouTube chat was, they were giving me the snoochie boochies. They knew what was up. All right, what else we got? See, Air Weldon, he's a fan of the View Askew universe. Mallrats is like, that's my fave. I love that movie. Love that movie. Coach's Corner and Game Ball. I don't care, Joe. You ain't you ain't knocking me off, okay? I'm not gonna allow you on this show anymore if you're gonna just knock Clerks 3. You gotta just be part of the universe and enjoy it. All right? It's like people who hated Jay and Silent Bob get a reboot, okay? I enjoyed Jay and Silent Bob get rebooted. And people are like, it was so stupid. It was just Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, almost remade like scene for scene with different characters. That was the whole joke. The whole movie was an in-joke on the movie industry rebooting stuff for no reason with no creativity whatsoever. That was the whole in-joke. And it was so over so many people's heads that they thought the movie was terrible. Can get me heated. Hey, somewhere in this world, Joe, there is a Centennial High School yearbook, class of 2005, where I dressed up as Jay, and my buddy was Silent Bob for Halloween, roaming the halls. It was the only way I could get my buddy to shut up, was make him play Silent Bob. Exactly. Air Weldon gets it. You're climbing up the ranks of my video producer job list. Joe, listen, I understand. You don't understand anything. You live in Buffalo. Maybe I should take up comedy. But also, at some point too, it's like, how much longer we got, Shacker? Okay, we got time. So Joe, the thing too is like, it's like my love for Metallica, right? It's like the last album came out was really good, by the way. 72 seasons, massively good. But all these albums, Saint Anger, people didn't like. Death Magnetic, people didn't like. People Hardwired, people didn't like. It's not as good as Master of Puppets. It's not as good as Injustice for All. Oh, well, no, duh. Those are two of the best thrash metal albums ever conceived. Not just by Metallica, just ever, right? That run of Ride the Lightning, Puppets, and Injustice for All, right? So nothing you do is going to compare to the all-time greats. Doesn't mean they're terrible, right? Now, Clerks 3 or whatever, it might be might be a bad movie, but also you can't compare it to a great like Clerks. Shacker says it's good. Shacker says it's great. But also Mallrats Dogma? Yeah, Mallrats Dogma. Those are classics. Classics. Classic cult films. It's hard for him to replicate that over and over and over. Ugh, get me heated. Chasing Amy. I think Dogma's finally out of the Weinstein mud and can be watched again. Dogma's so good. So good. Chris Rock. Jason Lee, massively underrated in all those movies too. But Mallrats is where it's at. That is where it's at. First, we run at LaFour's with a sock full of quarters. It's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, we'll take a break here. We're almost back on radio.
Breath, kind of out of nowhere, and we wanted to be extra cautious, obviously. So we bring him out. We ran some tests and everything on him. It came back normal, but there's going to be some further testing needed tomorrow for him. But we were all happy to see him in the locker room and smiling, and so that felt good.
What's your thoughts on the performance tonight, particularly in response to the performance on Sunday?
Yeah, I just thought it was a big time win. We sat here and talked about it, and Bill asked me the question before, and I said it's all about how we play. One thing you can't control in this league is if you make shots or miss shots, but how you play, how hard you play, how together you play, is kind of who we are and what we're doing and what we're building here. And tonight we did that on a high level, and we added shot making to it. Anytime you can get that three ball going, it's going to be a beautiful game. But I just thought everybody played great. You get 7 guys in double figures, and 29 assists is incredible. But our defensive rebound and just sharing the basketball, I thought stood out the most to me.
Chauncey, what did you make of Rob's game tonight and kind of what he means to you on both sides of the floor?
You guys have heard me since he's been here raving about how happy I am to be able to coach him. He's just a winner. He does every single thing that you need him to do. His feel for the game is really, really high level. His IQ is really, really high level. And obviously he's just his rebounding, his block shots, his voice, he's just he's so impactful, man. He's so impactful, and again, you get a chance to play him 25 minutes, and you look what he does against one of the best teams in basketball, and it's not a surprise to me at all.
Who is the MVP tonight for the Trailblazers? It's time for Game Balls on Fifth Quarter.
It is time now for Game Balls here on the Fifth Quarter, and who could it be? Who could we be giving a game ball to today? Yeah, it's going to Robert Flippin Williams, because holy smokes, he was so darn good tonight. So good tonight. 19 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, 3 block shots. Gave the team all the energy they needed, which was phenomenal. Loved it. Loved it. He gets it. Game ball. Robert Williams bringing plenty of more, hopefully. Time Lord for the win. Kirk coming in with the hot takes. Castaway, a terrible movie? Bro. There is something special about an actor if you can make a good movie when you share every single scene with no one. It's just you. It's a great actor. A League of Their Own, money. Saving Private Ryan, money. Toy Story, money. Apollo 13, money. Big, money. Forrest Gump, money. Don't be hating on Tom Hanks. Also awesome that his brother's voice is like the exact same as his, so he fills in for Woody on doing like recording for like the toys and stuff. I mean, come on, Catch Me If You Can, Sleepless in Seattle. Tom Hanks, he's a goat, man. Don't be hating on the Hanks. All right, we got to get out of here, though. I'm tired. I had to bring all this energy, and because the Blazers killed it. They absolutely killed it. And they get to do it again tomorrow. Blazers, Timberwolves, right here on Rip City Radio, 620. Tip-off at 7 p.m. Chad will have your Blazers pregame show on the Trailblazers Audio Network at 6, and I will have Blazers game day at 5 o'clock. To Joe, to Victor, to Brett, to Jake, to Air Weldon, Chris, everybody in the chat. Kirk, you guys have been awesome. You make this show so much fun. My boy Han in King City. Everybody, thank you so much. I'll talk to you tomorrow. And then we won one. So in honor of the late, great Brian Wheeler, you got to end this show with, it's a great day to be a Blazer.